was there a different feel to this one than the first one a few years ago? How do you compare the two?
Yeah, it's totally different. First of all, Christian hits a shot the first time, you're in shock, and it's complete pandemonium, and you hadn't done it before, so you don't know where to go. People are pulling you, go to the podium here, do this, do that. This one, we got to get the guys, the starters off the court. You got a great, special moment there with Phil Booth, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, our captains. That's one of my favorite things. That hug when those guys come off the court, still in the middle of the game, is special. And then you kind of know what you're doing afterwards, so you really get to enjoy it. And one of my favorite things was we had a lot of our former players, Tim Thomas, Kerry Kittles, Ryan Arcidiacono, Chris Jenkins, Josh Hart, Randy, for all those guys up on the podium with us. That was really special.
Hey, Coach, did it surprise you? Now, we had you in studio here before the Big East tournament here in New York. Did it surprise you, though, that how this team came together, that you were able to dominate all 6 games in the tournament? I know as a coach, it's a little more relief at the end of the game getting your starters in there compared to getting a buzzer beater. But did that give you more satisfaction, too, how mature and how the team responded during the tournament?
Well, I thought when you said that it surprised you, I thought you were going to say that I went back to the tie bar, because after you told me to go away from it.
I'll get to that later on, Coach.
I went away from it, but I had to go back. I'm sorry. But I want to answer your question. Yeah, now that it's over, it really did surprise me, how effective and efficient we were. When you're in it, as you know, as a player, you don't have time to really look back at the last game because you're preparing for the next game. And you always think that next game you can get beat, so you're so focused on that. But now that it's over and you look back at the scores and the games, it really did surprise me. But what it taught us is that we actually did get to we were playing our best basketball. I really feel like after the last game, we were tired, but there was a part of us that thought, you know what, we could go back to work and keep getting better. We love this process of getting better.
And the way you guys won the national championship, to me, it was perfect. Not just because you guys won it comfortably, but the best player in the country this year, Jalen Brunson, doesn't have a great game. Amari Spellman doesn't have a great game. And what happens? You guys, okay, all right, next man up to a degree. Donte DiVicenzo, I know he's a sub, but he has been playing essentially starters minutes this year. He comes in, not only does he have 18 in the first half, the school I went to had a kid do that in the first half national championship game once, Jerry McNamara. He had 0 in the second half. Donte came back out in the second half. You put back in less than a minute in, and he has another 13 in the second half. Some critical baskets when Michigan seemed to trying to get within arm's reach of you guys. How were you surprised by what Donte did while you're watching it? The look on some of the faces of your players was another shot. What was going through your head when you were watching what Donte did?
Well, you're right, Nick, about Jalen. Jalen was in foul trouble, and it's the beauty of our team is Jalen didn't go into the national championship game saying, "Okay, I'm National Player of the Year. I want to get mine." He went into the game saying, "We got to defend and rebound." He was really leading us defensively. Mikal Bridges got hurt. He got a knee into his hip about 5 minutes into the game, and we weren't really sure he was going to be able to continue. And he just defended and rebounded and did the little things. Still got the quietest 19 points ever. But Donte has done that for us during the season. There was a game we played Butler where Eric Pascal was out of the game. He was hurt. He didn't play that game. Phil Booth had a broken hand, and Donte had 30. He almost had a triple-double, 39 and 9. And so no one on our team was really surprised because, like you said, he played starter minutes all year. He was our 6th starter. But there's still a part of you that when you're watching him do it in the national championship game, it's just like it's unbelievable. It's pretty magical.
Coach, as you go through this tournament, as you said, a lot of it, it's a blur to you because you're playing through it. You got the next game coming up. You don't have a chance to really sit and think about what just happened. Now that you've taken a step back and you have a moment, have you thought about what was your favorite part or what stood out for you the most over the course of this tournament up till the very end?
You know what, Jenny? You're exactly right about that. And when you're going through it, it is a blur. For instance, today we have a parade in Philadelphia today, and there's so many things going on in Philadelphia when you're playing, but you're not there. Essentially, for a month, you're gone. So you don't see anything that's going on back here. You're in your little world, and now you do get back to look back at it. I don't know if there was one special moment, but there was little. In the West Virginia game, when we were down 6 in the second half, and we got a timeout, and just to see how the guys responded in that timeout, how we came back out of that. We actually had a 5-point possession right after that, got it to 1. You realize that was a really important part. The Texas Tech game, which was a real ugly game, we couldn't score on them. They're a great defensive team, and we just defended and rebounded, was really enjoyable. And the way we shot it in the Kansas game was just out of this world. That was a fun experience.
Hey, Coach, after 2 national championships, most coaches have to fight against complacency. You got to fight against people recruiting against you, telling people different stuff about your program. You got more wins than anyone in college basketball the last 4 years. What's the maintenance program, Coach? How do you maintain that success? Because I know you and your staff have installed one or definitely thought about one.
Yeah, definitely exactly where our heads are right now, Chris, is where do you proceed from here? And what we try to do is not try to make our decisions to keep our culture pure, and not make our decisions based on maintaining the same level of success. We feel like if we keep our culture pure, maybe we don't win as many games, as we did this year, but we keep the culture pure. That gives us our best chance to consistently win. But if we're just trying to get short-term decisions to get as many wins next year, eventually that's going to come back and hurt us. So now that's easier said than done, but that is the challenge.
And Coach, I know you talk about your players. You keep the focus on them, and we don't have a lot of time here. I just want to say this to you and get your response. Will you take a moment to think about what this is for Jay Wright? Only 3 guys coaching in your sport have multiple national championships. 25 months ago, people that do this type of job were questioning, what's going on? Get out of the first weekend. What's going on? All these great. And now I'm going to say it because you won't say it. Like, start preparing the Hall of Fame speech. Like, have you let any of that sink in for you? Because you should.
Well, I appreciate that, Nick, but I honestly purposely don't. I know when I sometimes talk to people in the media like yourself, I answer it, but I purposely put it out of my mind because it doesn't do me any good in trying to get better. I hope someday when I retire, I will stop and look back on it. But as I was saying to Chris, I really enjoy not thinking about that stuff and thinking about our culture and our guys. Right now, we could have 5 guys leave early and declare for the draft. So I want to help them, and then I want to make sure that we have guys coming in behind them that might not necessarily be as good as they are right now, but fit our culture at Villanova. And I really enjoy that. And the time I would spend thinking about that stuff would deter me from doing a good job.
Coach, you've been a great friend to the show this season. We've loved having you on. We loved you getting up this morning to talk with us. We're so happy for you and your program. Please come back and join us next time you're in New York.
Thank you, Coach.
I definitely will. We love the show, guys.
Awesome. All right, Jay Wright joins us this morning. Congratulations to you. Back here, we're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll get back to Tom Brady and the Patriots next on First Things First.